go get your stuff.
What is going on, everybody? Thank you for being patient. Sorry that we are late. We got the new teleprompter in, and it does a whole bunch of great stuff. And it's like a third monitor, and it allows me to see the camera and bring everything closer, and because of my eyes, and it's an amazing thing. I'm hoping the chat feature works. I guess it's supposed to pump my chat through it too, and other things. It's got to kind of see how it works. But yeah, it's only on Twitch, so it doesn't do that. But that's okay. We will get it all working out at some point and making sure it looks cool. Welcome to the Donut and Friendly Show. Shirt of the show is Red Friday. Got the Red Friday hat on. Leroy didn't even see it. Dude, all stitched.
I like Olivia's.
Yeah, but this
where
is
yours is at right now for me. I can't see yours, Matt. It's got the number of viewers right over your face on my screen.
Oh, does it? Well,
Yeah.
we're gonna 34 seconds. We'll be back, and then you can be
mine.
jelly. You can be jelly of it.
Already.
Red Friday shirt of the show, folks. 15% off if you use code RED15. Oh, sugar muffins. I got to. I'll do that during the 3 minutes. I forgot to put the code in. So if you're gonna go buy, wait. The store is in Fuego. Since we've done the shop of the day, the store's done about $800.
Oh, nice.
So great idea. I can't remember who came up with the idea, but thank you.
I think it was Amy S.
No, wasn't
No?
Amy S. Somebody else. But either way, we love you. We appreciate you. See you in a second.
Do you want the truth? Are you tired of being so confused? You feel like you're more fucked up than the lies on the evening news. Well, just step right in. We can talk about it all as friends. And if you want, we can hug and kiss and make up for the party ends. Agree or disagree, stop offering me. 'Cause I'm everything you want, damn sure what you need. I won't tell no lies, back up all the facts with truth. And if you can't get down with that, you must be somebody's stuff.
The Dumb Club, folks. I know I'm supposed to be doing that, but I had to get that set up. Let's just do this. Let's just go ahead and put this on pause for a second and just let you know everything Red Friday in the store is on sale. That's the coffee mugs, all versions, all 4 versions of Red Friday. Everything we have Red Friday. And guess what? You don't even need to put in the code. Just go buy it, and it automatically is going to do the discount for you. That is how amazing. So I am just going to go ahead and change
You
this.
sound like Crazy Eddie right now.
I know.
Sounds amazing.
You are not live on...
I know.
Okay. Just
On,
making sure.
on Wimpkin?
Yep.
I wanted to wait till the videos were done. I'm going to do it right now.
Got it.
Okay, here we go. Go live. We're live on Wimpkin, and I'm popping smoke. Let me know if we're good. Yeah.
Yep, we're there.
All right, folks. So yeah, all product auto discount. There it is. Automatically kicks in for you. Let's watch the rest of this. Dumb Club, folks. If you haven't been a part of it, you need to go over and join the Dumb Club. You get 20, 15, and 10% off depending upon so you don't have to wait for any special shows to do so. You should join the DUM Club as soon as you possibly can. Go take a look, thedumclub.com.
What's up, everybody? It's Ryan Weaver. I am on the Don't Unfriend Me show, otherwise known as The Dumb Show, with host Matt Spear. You guys can find the show at The Dumb Show on social media or thedumbshow.com.
By the way, join Webkin. Sorry, I'm preoccupied.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me show with your hosts Matt, Leroy, Amy, Olivia and Mike. Geopolitics, military analysis and election coverage. Coming to you live on the Spreely.tv network and all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show, everyone. Good to have you here. Leroy is in the house. Leroy, good to have you. I'm fixing your camera as we speak because that's what we do for our good friends.
It is good to be here, and welcome to the show for everyone who is watching currently. Welcome to the newest of viewers, the people who are freshly tuning in. It's going to be a good show.
Yeah, welcome to the Wimkin folks who are in. Olivia, I'm getting you set up. Looks like we are all squared away and much better than we were. Just let me get my camera set up. Does it, it kind of like, I'm thinking I need to bring my light up, Liv, because the lens.
Yeah, you're definitely darker.
That's what she said. Lens is not getting it from the waist down. The lens is not getting it with now that it's under the hood. So yep. I think we bring it up, and that could be the problem with our reflection. There we go. That's much better. And the reflection is gone. Go figure. A little bit of ambient light, folks, changes everything. Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show. I want to apologize to everybody. By the way, Leroy. Leroy.
I love that hat.
Yeah. It's embossed.
That is...
Isn't that killer?
Is it really? That is nice.
Yeah.
I really want one of those.
I know you do. Yeah. So I'll get you one. It's going to be on the site. I got to get it put up on there.
Do we have women's hats? Because I can't wear the men's hats.
What the hell's a woman's hat?
A smaller hat that fits a female head.
Sure. We have small hats. You just have to put it on. If you can wear that, you can wear these. This one's a little tight on me until I get a haircut.
This is a female hat specifically for females.
I understand, but
they made them differently.
They don't. She's just making shit up.
Well, it's
not a female hat.
Don't fit me.
It's just small. It's just a fitted small. We've got hats that will fit you. Yes, we do. Leroy looks younger tonight. I don't understand what that means. That's okay though. Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show, folks. We are. Yes, he's drinking early. Great, that's going to be fun. He's gonna. Thank you so much, everybody. Let's get going. We already are late. We apologize. We understand that you've been waiting patiently, so we can go ahead and get into it. Did you have a chance to watch Leroy last night about Joe Biden and addressing NATO and then doing his conference by chance?
I watched his actual speech, which was less than stellar. God, he misintroduced Zelensky, and then screwed up and said that, I wanted Trump as the VP when he was actually referring to Kamala. I mean, it was just stumble over stumble over stumble. He made some decent points, and there was a point where he got into a groove and was able to get some things across. But then when the reporters started challenging him, I thought that was really interesting, and that he flubbed a few of those. So.
What points did you like?
Just his general.
I'm just wondering if you're being nice,
Yeah,
because I didn't hear any.
well, I am, and I thought that his general level of energy was somewhat increased from the debate. It seemed like he was able to get things off maybe a little bit faster, but he was still flubbing all over the place. So it wasn't that much of an improvement. But
yeah, I still don't think there was. I don't think there was many points that he made that I was like,
no,
yeah, that sticks. So
qualified to be president.
I guess on just overall aesthetic purposes and presentation style. Here is his administration, as they are. You've got one of them who willingly cringes every time Joe Biden talks. In Hey Blinken, you've got the SecDef there, who ultimately just wound up selling 86 F-16s to Ukraine.
Which I got. I can't believe I pulled that out of my ass last night.
Olivia's like, what, did they send F-15s? I'm like, that's pretty close, F-16. And she had no idea, so she guessed it. But then you've got, obviously...
I just saw the most outrageous, outlandish thing I could think of that he's giving.
Yeah, then you got training. Then you got overall maintenance. You've got radar capabilities. You have refitting, refueling. KC-10s that are going to come with that too for in-air refueling. This is going to be a $5-6 billion easily adventure into Ukraine when it comes to establishing their air. The 16s are $2 billion alone, right? So you got to go ahead and whenever you do the rule of 2/3, whenever you put an infantryman out or you put a weapon system out, it takes 2/3 of whatever the cost of that system, additionally on top of that 2/3 more, in order to support it. And that's with people who would actually support the weapon system. So like if you take a look at an M1, an M1 has mechanics, they have refitters, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That all is behind the scenes. And for every forward operating person you have in the military, you've got additional 2 to 3 people who support that person. And that's the way you need to look at it. So F-16s, although are not state of the art, it does continue to ask the question: if we're going to get into air conflicts, then isn't that making it even more likely that NATO soil is infringed upon? Because when you have a flight going at 30,000 feet to 15,000 feet, and then in a matter of seconds in a dogfight, and that gets clipped, debris has a very good chance of hitting in NATO airspace. And then also, listen, missiles are not they're not perfect. And there's certain systems that I would be worried about, especially if you're doing, any bombardment. There's going to be mistakes. And what does that look like? Leroy, do you have anything? Here's the faces real quick if you guys want to see this.
So let's start there.
I did it.
Number one.
Yeah, hold on a second.
The fact is that I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president, but I think she's not qualified to be president. So let's start there. Number one.
It's kind of like there was this thing in Australia. Have you ever been to Perth or Sydney or Brisbane?
No.
Okay.
No.
So, do you know what a circle jerk is?
Yeah.
Well, there's a bar in Sydney, no longer in Sydney, Perth and Brisbane, called the Circle Jerk. And it's a Navy bar. And inside the tables, what?
Go figure. Navy bar.
Well, it's not what you think. So you go into these round tables, and it's like if you were to get a stripper dance. So you would go into a secluded, curtain-drawn, circular table. And the table removes like a camper when you want to put the bed in, right? An RV. Yeah. And you all go in and you sit 12 of you around. And the couches are a little bit removed from the circular portions of the table. And you get locked in. It's almost like you're in a teacup ride. They close the doors on you. The waitress comes in. And then they start ordering you drinks. and you get your food and whether it be gyoza or some buffalo wings or some cabbage rolls, whatever it be, or ahi tuna or whatever. Get a few pops in you, and you do a couple shots of sake, or you do a couple shots of whiskey, whatever it is, and then all of a sudden, it's drinks down, and everybody has to put their hands on the table. And for 1 minute, little spots underneath the floor pulls out, and a woman comes up and performs a French sexual act, and it rhymes with Horatio Hornblower, and the funny thing is the hornblower part does too, and the person who smiles first pays.
Oh, that's called
for that.
Smiles.
No, it's also
I do know
circle
that
jerk.
game.
It's a circle jerk.
Yeah.
It's a circle jerk,
was-
and that's the name. And that's the name of the bar.
Okay. It was described to me a little bit differently, and I assume that there are other similar bars
Sure.
in places like the Philippines and that kind of thing. And the way
Yep.
it was described to me was a little less elaborate, but every bit as exciting. The way it was described to me is that, a bunch of sailors would make their way around a pretty large table, and they would all be given a drink, right? And while that was going on, a single woman would be underneath, and she would make underneath the table, making her way around to each person and doing the same thing. And the first person who smiled, hence the name of the game, Smiles, the first person who smiled had to buy the round.
That totally sounds like Subic Bay and fucking Bali, just shit white trash versions of what I described.
Yeah.
This is a higher end bar. Obviously, the prices are ridiculous, and
Do we need to put an X rate on this show?
why?
You guys are talking about
Blowjobs. What's a blowjob? I mean, come on. It's like, do you really think you write me a letter and I'm going to have sex with you for the first guy that writes one? I give them blowjobs. Movie. So very similar to what you're saying, and they have that in Tijuana. They had it in Subic before. They shut down Subic before we got to encroach. We did get to go to the Philippines, and there's plenty of other places, Bali, etc., that are a little off. But Australia is just a little higher end, and it's very much like a strip bar, except they can perform fellatio, and having. It's not as elaborate as you think. It's I know I said teacup rides. You're like, okay, so now we've got the Mad Hatter and it's spinning, and then the floorboards are like just wooden.
Yeah, the way you made it sound like is there's a portal out at the bottom of the floor where this lady just pops up out of nowhere like. Well, Star Trek.
That's exactly what happens. It's just a false bottom board, and it's a 2-level operation. So like everything's all cooks and everything else, and they have. My understanding is I never got to see behind the scenes, but the ladies have the ability to move from table to table and work a section. And there's multiple women at the same time. Now, the interesting thing is you can't look under the table, and it's hands on the table. And if you look underneath the table to try to find out what's going on, so it very well could be a guy. You never know. I mean, you don't know what's happening.
Right. Yeah, you don't want
something I never participated in. I never did it because see, here's the thing: is that I was faithful overseas because I had a fiance. She wasn't, but I was. So no matter how you call it, circle jerk or smiles or ping pong balls or suction cup on the forehead or the other types of fun games in these illustrious places. Did you ever get to the Philippines?
No, but you did remind me, man, my father-in-law did, and he told us this amazing story about a very talented exotic dancer by the name of Honeysuckle Divine. Who used to shoot ping pong balls.
Yeah, across the room.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That was the Donkey Show in Tijuana. Listen, folks, I've seen some shit. Listen, one of the weirdest things I ever saw outside of that was vending machines where they would sell some of the tastiest chuhai in the world in between Tokyo, Roppongi, and Yokohama and Yokosuka, or Yokosuka, however you want to say it. and you would get these, for, I don't know, 800 yen, maybe a little less. No, it's more than that. I'm trying to remember the conversion rate. No, 800 yen was like $8, right? Yeah, doesn't matter. So you get Chew High, apple chew, and you drink it. But then right next to it are undergarments with a picture of the girl in it, and they're underage. Welcome to fucking Japan. And they would have white cotton underwear, and they would have a picture of a schoolgirl, and they'd be like, these are real, whatever. And you're like, I'm not in the United States anymore. And people were just like pissing in the street was just completely common.
Oh gosh, when we went to Disneyland for our honeymoon, 2 Asian guys just whipped it out in the middle of middle of the street to start.
Just start pissing in the middle of Disney.
Like,
and it's no big deal because they all have wash gutters. I mean, all the gutters in Japan, they're amazing gutter systems. They're not storm drains. They're all pipes. They dump out to the ocean, but they pump water down these things. And they flood, they don't flood, but they wash the canals of the street. It's pretty incredible. 800 yen is now about $1. So yeah, about 8,000 yen is what it was, about $8. But it seems like a lot, but the conversion rate is ridiculous. I couldn't remember if it was 800. And that's what I thought 800 was $1. That sounds about 80 cents roughly. And that's about the same as it was. But
much like
also,
inflation here in the United States.
Yeah, no shit. And one other thing in Japan is like there's little things you learn about the culture when you travel. One of the things is you never show the bottom of your feet in Japan. It's disrespectful. It's disrespectful because it's where the dead are. And there's so many different things you have to learn. And of course, they give Gaijin plenty of leeway. Barbarians, us, the white people. But yeah, Japan was weird. We would go into bars and they would be playing like 17-year-old pop, girls, like, and you're just like Tokiya Shiato. You're just like, what the fuck is this shit? And we would try to find American bars, and everything was close to the base, and those were all good because you walk in and they're playing CCR and Floyd, but you go out to Tokyo and it's a whole nother world. It's like Blade Runner personified.
Yes. Yeah, I can see that.
It's basically what it is. I mean, there's steam coming out of the streets. It's very clean. Some of the best food in the world is in an alley, and they have chicken kebabs and careful of the beef, especially when you're in Korea, because that's probably not steak. It's dog. Yeah. But they tell you in Japan, and they're licensed and everything else. And the interesting thing is gambling in Japan is actually illegal. However, the mob has found, the mafia, the Japanese Yakuza, have figured out a way around it. And still, they do this today. So what you do is you go in and you play the Plinko machines. Everyone know what a Plinko machine is? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Kind of like Price is Right. And you pull the little lever and it's ding, 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 ding. And it hits all the stuff. And then it goes in. And if it goes into a certain spot and you win, you get a little fetish figurine. Now, not a fetish as in, sexual, but a fetish. That's what they're called, fetish. It's just little like a carved totem or a little alien with buggy eyes, but they're made of whatever. And you get these and you put them in a bucket. And then when you're done, you get up and you go outside to the other side of the street, and there is a small little cashier window that you hand these in, and you say, and I don't know what that means, except for I want to sell these. And then they cash you out your tens of thousands of yen or whatever it would be that you won. Yeah. And each figurine has a dollar value to it. So they got around. So they're giving away these little worthless trinkets, but there are cashier stations that know what those trinkets are worth and will cash them out. So it makes gambling legal, but it's still illegal.
Yeah. It's the same idea here where some flavor of gambling is illegal, but if you use if you cash your money in for the chips, then all of a sudden that skirts some section of the law that makes it legal.
Yeah, but a casino has to file casino chips as having value. They have to have that. It's a commodity. So casino chips actually have a dollar value assigned, where these little tiny trinkets don't. And this is the Japanese mob. And we would go in there and we would play, and we don't like, oh, sweet, we won a purple-headed, 3-headed dog. And then, go over and, we get $100 or whatever. Like, oh, this is sweet. But it was boring. It was just stupid. There was something about having the money just fall out of the machine that was great. And this was just like, we're getting these stupid little trinkets. This is lame. So never did that. Beer is extremely expensive over in Japan. It was $12 to $16 a bottle, depending upon where you were in Roppongi. And different world. Anyway, so Russia, greatest place in the world. Bring Levi's. That's pretty much the trick there.
Yeah.
Bali, Hong Kong, go there during Christmas. Make sure you're Admiral, because all the polo shops, everything's dirt cheap in Hong Kong.
Speaking of gambling,
yeah.
When we ported in St. Martin, there's or was it Aruba? Pretty sure it was St. Martin. We ported there, and there's a casino on the island, and our postmaster on the ship, his wife had given him $50 with the explicit instructions to play all $50 on the roulette table on a specific number. So he did, and it hit. The damnedest thing. So he ended up walking away with whatever the odds are. It's like $3,000 or $4,000 or something like that. I thought that was amazing. Like she said, go play this amount on this number, and it fucking hit. I was amazed by that.
Yeah, it's Olivia and I tell them about the greatest coffee in the world in Spanish 21. How you and I played on. You see, now you got to tell this story right, because you make it sound like it's a bad thing. That's not when we blew our money. We blew our money when I went to Whiskey Pete's and we drove up north and stopped.
That was on the way home.
Yeah, in the Bonnie and Clyde car. We went back down and we blew and lost our money.
Yeah,
that wasn't the Spanish 21 was an amazing time. So
that was on the way there, right?
No, that was when we were at Excalibur and the Pink Knight was hitting on you.
That's right.
And
I was
going to take his lance and fucking kill him, and because he was hitting on my newlywed wife, and he gave you a rose. No, I was just going to cut his dick off if he had one. He looked like
it was pretty funny.
He looked like a gelding. He was like an anorexic Fabio. It was an annoying little freaking, just probably smelled like patchouli and Birkenstocks. But anyway, go ahead, Liv. Tell them about Spanish 21. Oh, and the Pink Knight if you want to, and then we'll get into it.
Okay, well, let me think. You're better at this shit.
Come on, you got to start doing this. So just do it. Just do it to the best of your ability.
Well, we went there for
tell it like you're telling me the story. Like explain it like you're looking at me. There you go.
Yes.
Tell me about it.
Well, our honeymoon, we went to
what are you hitting over there?
That would be the cat is sneezing.
Okay, can we stop?
It's the cat
Kill
sneezing.
the cat.
I don't know what to tell you.
Kill the cat. Real quick before we start, I want to say thank you for Carrie at the Red Friday shirt at 25% or 15% off. That's not bad. Save $4.50. That pretty much washes out the shipping. That's not a bad deal. Congratulations on picking up your Red Friday shirt. Enjoy it. We'll make sure it ships out tomorrow. And also, Gracie, thank you for donation. Go ahead, Livy. Tell them the story.
I'm removing someone from YouTube. Went to Vegas, San Diego, Disneyland, and then I think we went to Medieval Times in LA too.
Yeah.
But when we were in Vegas, we went to the Excalibur show, and we played Spanish 21 like all night long, and we kept winning. 8
hours.
And it was great. And
$20.
Free coffee, and the coffee's amazing. And I don't remember if it was there or if at Buffalo Bills where they bought us dinner.
No, they bought us dinner.
Yeah.
There. They gave us dinner and breakfast,
Yep.
and then they comped our room in like hour number 6.
Yeah. Yeah, we were there for quite a while.
I think we turned $20 into like $375, which, when you're playing $2 Spanish 21, it's not bad. That's a lot of win and a whole lot of not losing. And then when I was in with Game Crazy, real quick, and then we'll get started, is I was with my buddy Yancey, the reason we started the Don't Unfriend Me show. And every morning we would walk by the table and he would, put down $5, $10. And I was just like, he's like, you should put down 100 one time and do it. And he's like, but you got to do it every morning until you lose. And I said, okay. So I was like, got $100 and I put $100 down, blackjack 21. And we were there for 7 days. And then at the end of the day, we would go back by the table and put down $100. All 7 days, 14 times I won. I got blackjack 21, I think 9 times out of 14.
Wow. Which trip was this? Which is
unbelievable. This is when we went to Game Crazy in Las Vegas, and I came back with like $2,100. And I came back with a shit ton. And I think I remember what we did with it. We bought something. I don't remember what it was. It might have been a couch or something like that. But we used the money, maybe betting. Yeah, I know. Well, it's a long time ago.
Was it Phoenix?
But $2,100 came home with that and just kept hitting. An unbelievable string. Just every time I put it down. And he's like, what the fuck?
That's awesome.
Every time, just 21. And it was and then I just get up and walk away. And every time, just take my 1.5, thank you very much, and walk away. Made a great amount of money for that. And I don't think I lost any, but I did spend a little bit on other stuff. I put some on, roulette and played some Wheel of Fortune and shit. But in the end, I came home with like 20.
We almost won a few $1 million.
Yeah, we did. We were so close.
This close from getting the Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I was so bummed. It was like a half an inch. Yeah. And we would have won like $5.5 million on our honeymoon. Yeah. That would have been nice.
All right.
Before we get started, 2 things. It is.
Well, I got it. I got to do 2 things actually.
Okay.
So tell me one of the things.
It is Shane Gilmore's birthday.
Oh, I already know that. We already took care of that. We were going to do that. You spoiled it.
Oh, sorry.
So what's the other one?
Rhonda Hicks' husband just had emergency surgery and they found colon cancer. So everyone needs to please pray for Rhonda's husband.
Oh, Rhonda, I am so sorry to hear that. I'm afraid that the leading in prayer isn't very strong on this panel. Leroy, Olivia, and I are not very good at it. And darn well that we will. So in the privacy of our own home, and we're going to ask everyone else to please say a prayer. And that's the way I'll join prayer all day long. But I'm horrible at leading those. You'd think that I would.
Same.
I'm learning. I'm still learning, but we give you our very, very best. And I'm so sorry to hear that. It's horrible. God bless. Please keep us in touch with what happens. Shane, who put his name as Shane the Pain. I had to change it because that's what he signed up as. Shane is a longtime listener, good friend of the show. And he's a member of our Gold Club, so we're going to go ahead and give him a little bit of love. Hey, Shane, Matthew, and Olivia here. Wanted to wish you a very happy birthday. A longtime listener, good friend, and it's wonderful to have you here and be a part of the DUM Club and the DUM Nation, Shane. We appreciate you. We hope you have a wonderful birthday. You get all the things your heart desires. Yenny's actually meowing and saying happy birthday as well. She wanted to chime in and let you know. Olivia?
Happy birthday, Shane. I hope you have a wonderful day. And maybe we'll sing you happy birthday live tomorrow.
No, we're not going to do that. Maybe we will. Shane, happy birthday, brother. We really appreciate you. Thanks for everything you do for us. It's obvious and it's appreciated. So God bless. Have a happy birthday. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Shane, happy birthday. Rhonda,
happy birthday,
let us know. Yeah, Rhonda, please let us know how we can assist and help in any way. Just you know what to do. Let us know, and we will say a prayer for you. BK says, Matt, Rhonda's family is without income. I appreciate that. No income at all? How? Let me know. Please give me some detail. So I really want to know, okay? And we'll see what we can do and help out. Maybe we can do something special. I've got more people who are spamming me. All right, let's get to it. We've been playing loosey goosey long enough. Kevin, thank you for your donation. No, it's my fault because the damn thing didn't work. Kevin, weird donation, Kevin. It's usually not his number that he gives. It's usually fairly consistent, but probably maybe pinching the belt a little bit. That's fine. Doesn't matter. Anything helps.
Thanks,
565, Kevin. We
Thank you,
appreciate
Kevin.
you. I want to show you guys a video of Joe Biden, and there's a couple of them. And listen, I know it's easy to bag on people. I know it's easy just to hit people when they're down, and I don't want to continue to do this, but there's nothing that he is going to do or say that's going to redeem his results at all. And I said it last night. I don't understand why people are sitting around waiting for something to happen that obviously is not going to happen. There's nothing that's going to put the proverbial caca back into
Democrats.
The horse.
Assuming
So this is a guy whose tag name is Rational Boomer. And you can find him at Rational Boomer on TikTok and Twitter and everywhere else. And I found the video, and I have not had a chance to listen to it, but I was told that I should, and we're going to find out if this person was right. Let's listen. I don't know the language. It might be bad.
I just watched President Biden's address to open up the NATO summit. And I have some questions for Republicans, for the media, for some creators out here, and of course for some Democrats. Assuming you watched that address, did you see a feeble man, a man who couldn't complete a sentence, a man who couldn't maintain a thought? Is that what you saw when you watched that address? Because if you did, I have to strongly disagree. What I saw was a very strong leader. What I saw was President of the United States being very clear and concise and pointed and very strong, talking about a very important topic, the topic of NATO. Now, a lot of you will say, well, he was just reading a speech. That doesn't count. Really, motherfucker? Is that what you think? Do you think a feeble man could stand up there in front of that crowd and give that speech if he was feeble? Couldn't complete a sentence. Again, I beg to differ. And if you're unsure of that, let's take a little imaginary trip. Let's replace Joe Biden in that moment in time and replace him with Donald Trump. How might that speech have gone? Well, it would have gone off on tangents. They would have talked about shit. Nobody knew what he was talking about. He would be self-promoting himself and his ideology, and it would have been a complete shit show. If you put each candidate in that same position, who would win out? Well, clearly, Joe Biden would. Now, the idea that Donald Trump would stand in front of NATO is kind of silly, because you know Donald Trump wants to do away with NATO. Again, the most important alliance in the history of the world. NATO has saved countries, NATO has saved people, and NATO has kept murderous dictators at bay. You know, murderous dictators like Vladimir Putin, like Donald Trump's best buddy. Donald Trump wants to do away with NATO because Vladimir Putin told him to do it. And Donald Trump is little more than a useful fucking idiot. We need to stop talking about Joe's ability to speak. He clearly can do it. He did it today. What we need to do is focus on the important things, and that is the threat to democracy and the threat to world peace. So shut the fuck up. Let's start dealing with important issues and stop being whiny little fucking bitches.
Wow. Rational Boomer with a mic drop. I feel slighted after that.
How come Rational Boomer will never say that shit to me in person? Go ahead, Leroy. I have a feeling you have some things to say.
Well, Rational Boomer sounded anything but rational. Didn't make any factual claims, didn't make any, cited no statistics, just basically threw his opinion out there as if to say, hey, our guy is really, really smart and your guy is a lunatic. And that's my stance. And if you think anything other than what I just said, then you're a effing lunatic. That's not rational. Thanks for playing.
Livia, your thoughts on Grandpa Thudpucker?
This is the reason we are in the predicament as a country right now, because people are stupid and people are blind and they don't research things for themselves, and they just do and regurgitate the same facts that CNN and MSNBC and all the left news channels feed them, and they think it's true. And they are just a bunch of sheep and they follow.
Let me ask a question. Is there anything in the contract that says that Donald Trump has to run in order for Joe Biden to run?
No.
Is there any qualification that says that if Donald Trump decides not to run, that Joe Biden can't run?
No.
Is there anything that says if Donald Trump runs, that Joe Biden's successes or failures will somehow be different based upon Donald Trump running?
No.
Nope.
Then stop fucking talking about Donald Trump, number one, because this has nothing to do with Donald Trump. Never have I heard, at least in the last 3 months since all of the proverbial caca has left the horse, has anyone said, yeah, but Joe Biden is the only person who can beat Trump. I haven't heard that. Then the other thing I have heard is that Joe Biden is still better than Donald Trump. And that's not the question. That's not the question. The question is Joe Biden the best person for the job? Not if Donald Trump is the job, but he isn't president yet. He is the Democrat nominee, even though he's an incumbent. He's the president of the United States. He's the incumbent. So the question is he the best suited for the Democrat Party to run for president? It doesn't matter about Donald Trump, because nothing has to do with Donald Trump at this point. Is he the best person for the job? And if anyone believes that he is the best candidate for the DNC, then that right there should make you decide not to be a Democrat. Now, you may have the same feelings about Donald Trump and ask yourself the question, is Donald Trump the best candidate for the RNC? And you might decide, I will not vote Republican. Totally fair. But those are not predicated on each other. They are completely autonomous of each other. Because then what you're doing is saying, I have two piles of shit in my hand. Which one am I going to pick? Versus saying, why do I have shit in my hand?
It's a distraction. Anytime anyone talks about Joe Biden, they try to defend him, they immediately go to Donald Trump in the negative, because somewhere deep in their brain, maybe, they know that Biden has been a shit president and the country is horrible and inflation is up and gas prices are up and interest rates are, and everything's up. But it's a distraction. Joe Biden is president, but look at how bad that orange man is over there. And they just distract to make people hate Donald Trump. And they still think that they're going to win and Biden's going to win for the fact that people hate Donald Trump more than they care about their own country.
People don't vote against the person they don't like. That's not what drives people to the polls. If they don't like the candidate they're voting for, there is a voter suppression just from that, and it's usually self-inflicted. Leroy, go ahead.
A week and a half ago, I went ahead and looked up some numbers that stated that 33% of Democrats think that Joe Biden should step out of the race. A few days later, that number rose to 56%. A few days later, it was up to 66%. I looked it up on CNN, up to 75%. This is on CNN's polling. 75% of Democrats, at whoever the hell they polled, now believe that Joe Biden should get out of the race. So then I went ahead and dug into this a little bit further. Turns out that Biden's current disapproval ratings are 57%, while only 37% approve. I'd love to know who those 37% were and who the people were polled. Lastly, and this is where it gets interesting, Reuters just a few days ago reported that 86% of Joe Biden's voters will vote for Joe Biden no matter what.
Right.
So I thought about that, and I'm thinking to myself, wait, CNN just reported that 75% of Democrats say that Joe Biden should get out of the race, but 86% of the people polled believed that said that they would vote for Biden no matter what. Wait a minute. What you have, that's a story that's being told there that is really important. That means that there is a huge percentage of people who say that, look, I think Joe Biden should get out of the race, but no matter what happens, I'm still going to vote for him. That is not that's brainwashing. That is an acknowledgement on the left of some level of brainwashing, as if to say, I don't care how bad it gets, I'm still going to vote for this sinking ship.
Yeah, and listen, and here's the thing.
Thanks, Sarah.
Is that thank you, Sarah. You said that meant it was a cult. So you said if we vote for Donald Trump, no matter what, it's a cult. You said that if the government comes in and tries to dictate and change the Constitution, that's a threat to their democracy. You said that Donald Trump would weaponize the Department of Defense and the justice system.
Who's actually doing that?
Are we kidding? You're okay. Fine, we're a cult. Fine. If Donald Trump's in, even though he didn't do that in his 4 years, he'll weaponize the DOJ. He didn't do that. He didn't go after his political opponent. Joe Biden did.
Right.
Donald Trump didn't start any major conflicts. He didn't feed proxies. He didn't destabilize the Middle East. He didn't lose the petrodollar. He didn't bring fentanyl over the border and kill millions of Americans. His response to COVID, people are like, oh, well, he killed less people per day. Yeah, but it was over a longer period of time. Let me ask you a question. Would you rather kill 500,000 people in a year, or would you rather kill 1.5 million people in a year and a half? Do the math.
It's the same thing.
So don't give me this bullshit that all of a sudden, oh, well, he only lost this many per day, because he was dealing with COVID for a longer period of time. His numbers were much higher than Donald Trump. So if you want to go ahead and play both sides of that, we can do that. But it doesn't matter. The point is that why can't we just say that COVID was a crazy thing, that we didn't know how to react to it, we overreacted to it, and both administrations mucked it up, because they did.
Yeah, they did.
Here's a photo I want you to look at real quick. If you think that this is an all programmed, Olivia, I'm sorry, I got to put it. Actually, no, I'll just blow it up. I hate when I put it over your face. Here it is. This is Rob Reiner. Rob Reiner, 8 hours ago, says if Biden stays in the race, every day from now until November 5th, the focus will be on whether or not he falters. To save democracy, this cannot be a referendum on Joe Biden. It must be a referendum on a convicted felon who wants to destroy 250 years of self-rule. Biden must step down. Why can't it be a referendum on both? Anyway, Brian Krasenstein then says, any little gaffe at this press conference by Biden will be magnified times 10 and focus on nonstop by the media. This will continue until November nonstop. It's not his fault, but it means he should not run. So let me explain. Does everyone understand what that is? Who wants to tell me what those two posts have in common? Sesame Street this. Besides me replying to both of them, you guys are fucking gay for each other. That's what I replied. But could you, Leroy, you want, let's give Liv a try. What do those two posts have in common? Let's Sesame Street that.
It sounded like they both defended him, but both said he needs to step down.
Right, but how did they say it?
That it's not his fault that he's messing
No.
up.
I'm talking about the choice of words and the vernacular and everything and the key fundamental portions of the sentence and the paragraph. Were they similar or were they different?
Can you put it back up?
Oh, shit.
I don't have a memory like you.
Shit.
All right, let's break down the sentence.
Okay.
If Biden stays in the race every day from now until November, let's see if we check it. Any little gaffe at the press conference, Biden will be magnified by 10. That's talking about the race. Focused on nonstop by the media.
Okay.
And
this
Rob
will continue
Reiner was
until
talking about
November. This will continue until November. He says continues and the focus till November. It's not his fault, but it means he should not run in 2024. It must be a referendum on a convicted felon who wants to destroy years of self-rule. Biden must step down. This cannot be a referendum on Joe Biden. Tell me, are those similar to a point of literally just scrambling some words around, or is it completely a unique thought?
It's very similar.
It's exactly the same.
It is.
They are saying the exact same fucking thing, and they threw it in the chat GPT, and they scrambled it. And this is what the DNC does.
They give them their talking
They
points.
give them their talking points every morning, and they say, here's your talking point. Here is how you can say it. And they tell them what to say. It's very much like reading a commercial on when I do my podcast commercials.
Yes.
You can say it any way you want, but this is what you need to say, and these are the points you need to hit.
You have to hit these points. Yep.
And I will tell you, I picked two because I despise both of them, the Krasenstein and Rob Reiner. Because Rob Reiner, I love his movies, and I can't fucking stand him as a person. And Brian Krasenstein, I just can't stand him.
Who's Rob Reiner?
He made Princess Bride.
Yeah, Princess Bride.
He was Meathead in Archie and the Bunker.
Yeah, he's done quite a few movies that you've seen. You can look him up.
Princess Bride?
He was
the director.
Okay, gotcha.
He's a director. And he was also in Primary Colors. He was the DJ on Primary Colors. He did Primary Colors too. He's done a bunch of shit.
Got it.
The point is this, is those are the two I picked. I could have done 40 screenshots because 40 different Blue Anon accounts were all, not QAnon, Blue Anon, all got their marching orders within a 24-hour period of time. And what's funny is what they used to do is all 40 would post minutes after they got the email. Now they stagger. Now they say, okay, your Alpha group, your Bravo group, your Charlie group, please post between the hours of this and this. Please post between this and this. And now they give them a staggered approach saying the same thing. These people are paid to lie. And all they do is sit here and say, Joe Biden is the greatest president ever. Joe Biden is amazing. And they get paid for it.
Something that both of them said that I also thought was really interesting, to your point, Matt, if they are both being paid to say that from their party, right? Both of their messages both concluded with, but Joe Biden should step down.
Right.
As if to say, look, Joe, we love you, but you got to get out of the way.
Right.
That even his own party wants him to step down. I just quoted the statistic. 75% of Democrats from CNN think that he should step down. Now, if we roll the clocks back 4 years, right? That was a major sticking point from the media of the time, as if to say, hey, look, we think that the Republican Party is crumbling underneath Donald Trump's feet. We think that there are fractures so deep in the party that it's going to take years for the party to heal itself and for them to find a new cult leader, in their words, and then rebuild the party, right? Here, we're watching it happen real time. We're watching the Democrats literally, the fissures in the party are so deep that they don't even want their current president to run. Terrifying.
It's pretty insane. This is I want to show it to you real quick. Take a look at this, and I want to also say, Carrie. It looks like Carrie lost her father-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so sorry, Carrie.
Carrie Bailey, I am so sorry to hear that. It's crazy. It's just, God, we need to get out of this weekend and just get out. Seriously. Here's Brooklyn Dad Defiant, the crack addict who sold his kids toys for crack. Not a joke. Real. Totally real. But he's recovered now. He's a good man, right? Good man. Sure. He, unwavering support for Joe Biden. Here we go. Jake Shields, the racist fuck. Bigger liability.
I saw
Brian
that
Krasenstein jumping in. Ed Krasenstein jumping in. Tristan, Joe Biden, Harry Sasson. Wow, listen to Biden should drop out of the race, react to the president, Biden's blah, blah, blah. This is all they do. They just literally fill the Twitterverse with bullshit. This guy's still going. I can't wait. I hope this guy gets royalties, and I would kill to have him on. I would love to have this guy on. And here's the thing. Yeah, it's not that. It's not that. It's really hard for you to say, "Hey, everyone, let's have a discussion. Shut the fuck up."
That's not a discussion, right?
It's not a discussion. It's a notification. Half the things he said was just complete nonsense. And this is what they do. Okay, Donald Trump being a Putin puppet. Joe Biden won't allow Ukraine to invade into Russia. Who's the puppet?
Right.
If you truly want to back off Russia from Ukraine, let him start hitting inside Russia. If this is truly a war that you want to support, then put Ukraine on the offensive. That's the only way you win a war. You don't win it by defense. You're not going to outlast your opponent because you're not the Afghanis. You don't have tunnels and cave systems. You haven't been fighting oppressive world powers for the last 50 farkin' years. You're Ukraine. You've gotten your ass kicked by Russia several times and several other countries. If you believe that Ukraine is worth fighting for and we've got to put all this money, then put them on the offensive. Give them the green light. Why won't you? You know why. Because you don't want them to hit Russia. You don't want them to hit Moscow. You don't want them to hit sensitive targets inside Russia because it will destabilize the region, and that will be World War III. So you have a choice. What you're saying is that you are now in another de facto Cold War with Russia, and you're okay with it. Because that's what it is. Russia is going to put money towards its military to fight Ukraine, and we are going to run proxy and build up our current military in defense of Russia, just in case Ukraine falls. Because if you think if they take Kyiv, that we're literally not going to go ahead and park U.S. forces 30 miles off the Poland border, you're insane. We will stand in the way of NATO. I think the United States and the people in it need to come back to reality, because this whole thing, this just nonsense dream world that Donald Trump, you guys have been saying he was going to start World War III with North Korea and Iran, and he didn't do any of that. He did none of it. He questioned an election. He was wrong. I'll give everyone that, and I've said it 100 times, because I'm not going to sit here and oh yeah, it was stolen just because I don't like the result. I've walked through the constitutionality of the result of the vote. I've walked through and given you my opinion that it wasn't some George Soros giant thing, that it was actually done through legislators, through the courts for emergency powers and COVID. We understand this. We've seen the proof now. It's the only excuse that holds up. But stop saying that Donald Trump is a threat to democracy when the real threat to democracy is actually democracy itself. So sick and tired of this, that we're a democracy. It's so much more complicated than that. Go ahead.
When Trump was president, every word that he uttered was used against him. And let's face it, Trump says some pretty off-the-wall stuff sometimes. Right.
Sure.
And Matt and I were the first ones on the interweb to jump on him when he would say stupid shit. And that's fine, right? That's what we should do. You should be super critical of your leadership. The ones that are not super critical of their leadership, the ones that just automatically blindly follow, I guarantee those are the people who emanate from the left. Now, I say that because for all of the crazy shit that Trump said, and he said some crazy stuff, but he may have even uttered, nonsense about, is NATO still applicable today? Is it still important today? And I think Trump's strategy sometimes is to say that kind of thing and then pressure the other NATO nations to make sure that they are contributing the dollar amount that they are obligated to in order to uphold NATO, right? There's a minimum kind of contribution level in their GDP that they need to contribute in order to maintain it. So for him to make those kind of statements, Yeah, it sounds a little bit off the wall, but it's really intended to like goose the economics that are happening in Europe to say, hey, look, you guys need to pay your fair share. Now, why do I say that? I say that because the Democrats have been super critical over those statements, but then when Biden has his flubs, when Biden says those really off the wall comments, rarely did we see any sort of repercussions, at least not until about 3 weeks ago when when 33% of his base said, hey, look, you need to step aside, and now it's 75%. So I really see this as a win. I actually really, really hope that
Thanks,
Biden
Violet.
stays in the
Thank you,
race.
Violet.
Thank you, Violet. That Biden stays in the race. That would be the best news for Democrats, or for the Republicans, rather. And I also wanted to address Kevin Bernard. Does Russia have the ability to take out all of those F-16s? Kevin,
Thanks, Frank.
thank you, Frank.
Thanks, Frank.
That's a big one. Kevin, they absolutely do possess some ability to. Um, but it's going to depend on the weapon system that are in use and in what geographic location. Not all weapon systems can touch an F-16, and some of them are more than enough to take out an F-16. So it just depends. Do they have the ability to take out all of them? Probably not. We'll see what happens.
F-16s are designed for, they are not an FA. That's why the FA-18 was created. The F-15 Strike Eagle was an A and an E strike. It had the ability to do attack and dogfighting. It was a heavy armament fighter, but overall, the FA-18 was a hoss. It still was able to keep its high velocity, high speed, fairly high ceiling, not as high as the F-15, but could perform a multifaceted role as a fighter and an attack strike platform. The F-16, its skill set is dogfighting. When you see the F-16 in Iron Eagle attack the bases and they're using Paveway smart bombs and, you know, the Hades.
The Hades bomb.
Give me a fucking break. So an F-16.
It was so great.
Right. You're going to have to strip that thing to 1/10 fuel capacity to put a heavy fucking bomb on. The F-16 is not an armament carrying type fighter. Yeah. And it loses its maneuverability when you overload it. So, it's not going to be used for attack. It's going to be used for air suppression, air dominance, air superiority. And I would still put the F-16 against any third-generation fighter.
Absolutely.
Hands down. It's not going to stand against a fourth-generation fighter. But go ahead.
Did you see that they just released F-15 Eagle 2, the specifications for that? It is unreal. This is just within the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, finally Air Force is going to be able to do something decent, yeah.
25% more payload.
Yeah.
They still won't disclose the speed, but they're saying it's up to Mach 2.9, which means it's every bit as fast as the SR-71 back in the day.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is that now they have the new SR-71 schematics, plans, and aerodynamics all set for it. Have you seen this? The SR2 or whatever it's called?
72.
Yeah, SR-72. I think that's what it is, the SR2.
Rumors, that's all I've seen.
Yeah, I've heard rumors too, but this is on Lockheed Martin's site, bro. So I don't know how much I would say rumors, but that's what the look of it. I was reading up on it today.
The testicles that hang off the back like a Ford truck in the South.
Yeah, I don't know, but looking at some of the schematics,
Olivia looks like she's getting ready to fall asleep.
No, she's not. There it is right there. It's a beautiful. I mean, the SR-71 is hands down the most beautiful aircraft ever made, and I believe this SR-72 is going to be pretty damn cool. All right, so we'll sum it up here. I apologize, Liv, for the long conversation. Those F-16s, they would be fantastic against an older model MiG. They'd be fantastic. They would at least put up a good fight against like an Su-27 or any other type aircraft. But when you want to talk about like the next level aircraft, those F-16s, here's the thing, is what they don't have is long-range bombers. And without long-range bombers, you can't suppress Russia's bombing capabilities. So my fear is they're going to keep these in Poland. And they're not going to put them in Ukraine, because you put them in Ukraine or you put them on westward Ukraine, maybe. The Russia's just going to go in and take them all out. And they're going to take, this, you're going to have to spread these out over an extreme period of distance in order to have Russia hit them all. This is not that big of a deal.
No,
but,
it's not.
But it's still a waste of money, and it's stupid, because you're not, okay, even if you scramble an F-16 to go up and shoot down a bomber, the level of training that takes hundreds of hours in a simulator, real-time flight exercises, target acquisition, intercepting target. You're using inferior software. They're using bombers with advanced radar capabilities versus an older system. It's for show. This isn't really going to make that much of a difference, okay? The ghost of Kiev will have to wait for another day, okay?
I just realized I look really pale tonight.
No, you don't, do you?
Yes.
You don't look
Like
Mexican
very
at
white.
all.
No.
Hold on a
very
second.
white right
Hold
now.
on, let's see if we can get you color.
Where the white women at? She's the one in the middle.
Oh, that's why. Your fucking camera or your light is all turned up to white. There you go.
That's better.
You're at
Such a
65.
I was like matching them white on my hat.
Yeah, you're at 6,500K. So that's good. So anyway, moving on. I don't want to bore anybody. I mean, we have a lot of people listening, obviously, but I want us to understand that, yes, it's a big deal because of the amount of money. Yes, it's a big deal because it advances Ukraine's effort. And yes, it just brings me to the fact that I've said 100 times, is that one of the allies or the United States will be at war with Ukraine within the next 10 years. I will bet my podcast on it. Matt, how do you know that? How could you possibly know? It's called history repeats itself. It's called, it happens every fucking time. Every time we proxy somebody, we go in and then we have to take them out because we give them an ungodly amount of money unchecked, and these fuckers don't want to lose that power. And when the United States backs off, they start going ahead and doing stupid shit to draw the United States back in. And the United States says, hey, don't fuck around, man. Stop this stuff. Don't instigate. We got you in a piece. You got defense. You don't need to oh, yeah, well, I'm going to go expand my territory in this country. You don't do that. We're going to knock your dick in the dirt. Don't do it. And then they do it. We're like, okay, we're going to have to kill you now. And then we have regime change. And folks, this has happened 26 times in U.S. history in the last 75 years, that we've had 26 regime changes under our belt. Every single one of them have failed, including Russia with instituting democracy. Okay, it doesn't work. You have to have a willingness to be governed. And that's not what these guys want to do. They want to assert power from the people. They're not interested in a republic. They're not interested in a constitution.
Exactly it.
They want what all dictators want, more power on the backs of the people. So Ukraine, most assuredly, 10 years, we will be proxying a conflict with Ukraine, or we'll have an ally crossing sabers with them. Mark my words. Go ahead, buddy.
You know, you bring up a really good point. I have heard that argument. I can't tell you how many times that basically dictatorships are opposite from that of a democracy. And that's why so many people on the left love the idea of a democracy, of the idea that rule of the people, right? But that's not any better normally, right?
No.
Basically, what a pure democracy, what that means is that if 50.1% of the people decide to use your own property, to take your property from you, well, 50.1% said it, so it's a democracy, and that makes it legal. See, that doesn't make it right. And so we have to get over the idea that just because the majority of the people have spoken, that somehow that's the right thing. That is why a republic, like what the United States has, one that embraces the idea of individual liberties, of individual property, and the ability to say and think what you want and defend yourself. That's what makes this country great. Oh, so annoying.
Mr. Boone, enjoy your new red shirt. I'm excited that you guys went and did. Folks, this new shirt idea every night, it's actually works really, really well. I think people are pretty excited about it. So thank you for purchasing the shirts. If you guys want to get it, sorry, Liv, I'm going to put it right over you. Red Friday. Oh, there you go. You're still there. Look at that. Perfect. Red Friday shirt of the show. Wearing our Red Friday shirts. All Red Friday, not just the Red Friday 3.0 shirt. All Red Friday shirts, cups, hoodies are all on, long sleeve are all on sale. It's an auto discount, 15% off just for another 50 minutes. 50 minutes, folks, is your last chance to get yourself up. And let me tell you, I'm not making any money off this shit. 15% off pretty much takes me clean because I give 10% to the Travis Manion Foundation, 15% to you. That's 25%. And then the other 5% at least for taxes. So it's okay.
Can I add
doesn't bother
that?
me. But maybe what you could do is buy more than not because I'm doing a commercial. Maybe you could buy one more shirt, not just one shirt. Get the Red Friday shirt and then possibly pick up some coffee. We make amazing coffee, some of the best. Go try it out. Maybe pick up a hoodie. Maybe pick up a hat, a sticker, whatever. But not just a shirt, because then that helps out the show too. So we're doing this to give you guys the ability to get a good discount on some clothing. Help us out if you wouldn't mind. Go ahead, Lee. Right now you can go.
Okay. With Matt's participation, and I'm sorry for everyone else. I'm sorry for the Wimkin folks or Twitter, whoever else is watching on any of the other platforms. This would only apply to Facebook because that's the only one I can see right now. The first person to, in message traffic, tell me who the first president was and the only one to president to have served a non-consecutive term, I will buy your shirt. Matt will send me the bill. You pick out the shirt on the site. I will buy it for you and have it sent to
I already know. Can I get a free shirt?
No, it's got to be in the chat, Matt. You're not playing by the rules.
I'll put it in the chat here. Let me just put it right here.
Text me the answer because I can monitor all the other chat.
Come on, non-consecutive term. Can I put this in here?
I got all the chat.
Non-consecutive term. Who's the first one, folks?
That's not fair. You can't do that. That sucks. All right, people, get it, take it, because
we had a couple. George Washington.
No.
Grover Cleveland.
No.
Boom.
Teddy Roosevelt.
Grover Cleveland. Thank you very much.
That would be J.D. Stillwell is the winner.
J.D. Stillwell,
All right,
a free shirt because that is
Grover
Grover
on me,
Cleveland.
buddy.
It is Grover Cleveland. Very good. All right, so now you got to do it. All right, here's the video. Speaking, this is a great segue into this shit. Okay, just everyone, just hold on. Okay, hold on. Hold on to yourself. This is gonna hurt like hell. Sarah McLachlan.
Amy just texted. It was like Grover Cleveland.
Starts with Grover Cleveland. All right, folks. Listen to me. I know Kennedy. I will put my knowledge against John F. Kennedy against anybody. Anybody. I don't give a shit. Anyone. I have read over 400 different books on John F. Kennedy and the assassination. I have watched 2,000 to 3,000 hours of documentaries, and I say 2 to 3 because some of them I've watched multiple times. I've actually got to meet David Lipton, who wrote Best Evidence. I love John F. Kennedy assassination. The second thing I love is Abraham Lincoln. And what I'm about to show you is going to piss you off. I ask you, everyone on the panel, to hold your tongue and let people hear what's happening. And this is what I warned you about. I told you in the 1970s, 80s, and 90s, this is what the LGBTQ community was warned about, not to do this. It is now happening. And I want you to listen to it. I want you to watch it. Here it is. Save your reactions, Olivia and Leroy. Oh, come on. See, it's so full of shit. They won't even let me play it.
It's like that other dude, the boomer. What was his name?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, boomer douche.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Whatever.
I don't remember his name was. But rational boomer.
Yeah, that guy.
He is considered a sacred figure by both Republicans and Democrats.
He led the nation through its greatest crisis.
He's on our currency. We build monuments to him.
He's the greatest president.
Yeah, Trump said he was going to release the John F. Kennedy files in 2016 as well. And then he got the kibosh put on him by the NSA and a few other three-letter agencies that said no. He's made that promise before, Alex. And I'm assuming your name is Alex Potty, as in Alex Potvin, or Felix Potvin. I'm just wondering. So you're a Toronto fan, so I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. Now on with the show.
The United States has ever had.
Today, the big question that people are asking is, was Abraham Lincoln gay?
What?
In the 19th century, for many men, their closest relationships were other men, and same for women.
Men would live with another man when they're single, and often did, and shared beds.
Lincoln probably slept in the same bed with men more than he did with women.
One of the things that fascinates scholars is his bedding down with Joshua Speed for 4 years.
There is love between those two men.
When you put together all of the evidence, it's really startling.
Lincoln has a type: dashing, daring.
We have this notion that if you have an attraction like that, boom, that's your orientation.
Sexuality through the mid-19th century was far more fluid.
But for someone who wanted a political career, it was mandatory that you have a wife.
Dear Speed, I shall be very lonesome without you. Yours forever, Lincoln.
What you have in the 19th century was very strict marriage culture. Get married, and then everything is possible.
Captain David Derrickson became friends with Lincoln while they were living here at the cottage.
There is a soldier here devoted to the president, and when Mrs. L is not home, sleeps with him. What stuff?
He was seen wearing the president's nightshirt.
If you want a smoking gun, here it is.
But then you see all these shifts to the end of the 19th century.
Freud was devastating to sexuality, defining very rigid categories.
And they're saying if a man loves another man, it's unnatural.
Homosexuality is a mental illness.
It was not only wrong, it was punishable. If Lincoln were to look down today, he would see the United States at a particularly fragile moment.
History is so important because it allows us to understand who we were, who we might become.
Lincoln's legacy is the insistence on equality. We have been in the house of power. If you can accept a queer Lincoln, you can accept queer people overall.
He should inspire us to achieve a true democracy for everyone.
Have at it, panel.
Ah, oh my God, what the fuck is that? Who was the dude that looked like a freaking clown on there?
Saw that.
Looked like the Tropicana Chiquita banana lady.
Yes.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with people?
Okay. First of all, to people in chat who are like, what does it matter? First of all, it does because it's not true.
Oh.
That is the most ridiculous shit I've ever heard in my life. Is that okay? Let me explain something.
I'm sorry.
They talk differently back then. And when you say you're going to miss someone desperately, you would say that to a brother. You could say it to a wife. You could say it to a good friend. Men had an amazing relationship that wasn't based on sex. Most of them were either related in some way or knew through family connection. And that is what happens when you have an extremely small nation that grows into a larger nation. And there was an absolute connection that did not have this machismo competitive nature and an honor amongst men. Men slept in the same beds. Sure. And did some of them get froggy? Maybe. But a couple of letters that say nothing about homosexuality, that if there was even a hint of homosexuality, even a hint, the South would have used that. They would have used it against Lincoln to turn the Union against him for being, which wasn't even established. Homosexuality wasn't even established. That wasn't even the name for it. So if you want to sit here and pretend that that's the case, Sic Semper Tyrannis would have been about the fact that he laid down with other men. The Bible was there in earnest, and everyone participated. It was like 1960s and 70s smoking. Everyone smoked. Everyone participated in religion.
Mm-hmm.
So sit here and say that there are historical documents and references that show that Lincoln is gay. I can also show you that he was a circus midget if you give me enough time. Just because you're gay and a lesbian and that's the only fucking thing you see and feel doesn't mean that the whole world can be painted with your brush. Like, I'm sorry you want everyone to suck a cock, but that doesn't necessarily mean that everybody sucks cock. Okay? It's Abraham fucking Lincoln. Can you leave anything alone? Can you just fucking, for 1 minute, can you just leave the country alone? What's next? You gonna tell me that Elvis Presley was fucking a Klan member or some shit? Enough! I can't stand this shit anymore. I'm so fucking sick of it. It's Abraham fucking Lincoln. I know they got to do this, but I got to do this. I got to vent. Go ahead.
Abraham Lincoln was also a vampire hunter. Don't forget that.
Yeah, he was a vampire hunter too. He was also in Bill and Ted's. He was a time traveler.
That's true.
Yeah.
Time traveler.
You know, I fucking love you, Matt. And please understand, folks, that when he gets heated over this stuff, there's fucking absolutely every fucking reason to do so.
Fag. You just said you love me. Do you want to sleep with me, Lincoln? Do you want to mount me, Lincoln?
Oh, hold on. I got a really good.
Go ahead.
A couple of years ago, back when Trump was president, there was a guy named MAGA Hulk. He was this bodybuilder, black dude. And he came out with this video, and in the first couple of lines of the video, he really made it known that during the course of the video, he says Abraham Lincoln was the first Republican president. Lincoln wanted to free the slaves. Democrats fought to keep their slaves. Republican President Abraham Lincoln used the Emancipation Proclamation to free all slaves. Lincoln made equality for all black people part of the official Republican Party platform. Okay, now why do I say that? Because this is one of those tools that the left uses is to normalize sexual behavior to what they think it should be without any evidence. So what I mean by that is, hey, from the left's perspective, they're trying to use their optics to pitch it to us that Lincoln may have been gay. Here's the thing. I don't care. If Matt, Rizzo, and myself were all lined up in a bed together and we were the rulers of the world, would you care who was banging who if you had all of your liberties? If you had all of the freedoms that you're supposed to have? Would you care? And at the end of the day, you don't. Nobody gives a fuck. The whole idea, they're only doing this to give the Republican Party a black eye and to normalize the idea during, last month, which would have been Pride Month. That's the only reason this is happening. If you wanted to be the big spoon, that's fine with me. During when I read the book Moby Dick, there was a section in the book where the hero of the book, who's called Ishmael, he shacks up right before night one on board the ship with a guy named Queequeg, but they don't bang. They're just there sharing a room together. This was very common during those days.
Yeah, not a lot of fires on ships for warmth. Fires on ships aren't good.
And that was exactly the point of the book. It was that during the 1800s, it was very common to share a bed with someone that you may not have known. So I don't take great offense to this. I think they're barking down the wrong tree. I think they're
Wait a second. You don't take offense to this.
I don't. Because
wait,
I don't care.
Wait, no, wait a second. Wait a second. Okay.
I'm listening.
I know. I'm trying to phrase my question. God, I hate when you fucking drink. You can't drink before this. You got to drink like at hour 1 because you get fucking snarky and shit. And I don't want to sleep with you when you get like this. So, okay.
Kills the foreplay.
If they go ahead and say there is proof that John F. Kennedy was a fascist, and the reason why hold on. Yeah. That's because it's not my phone, motherfucker.
This is why you tune into this show, folks. You don't get entertainment like this anywhere else. Go ahead.
What was that?
Somebody just randomly called and he's like, "Why don't you answer your phone?" And I said, "Because it's not my phone, motherfucker."
Why don't you answer your phone?
So if they said Kennedy was a fascist,
sure,
and wanted to come out and they were going to lay a groundwork of evidence. Oh my God, I'm not the person you're trying to fucking call.
Jesus fucking
God.
What's the phone of?
So you could make that argument. It doesn't mean it's going to stick because John F. Kennedy was not a fascist.
Right.
But if you want to make that argument, you have to have historical evidence outside of predictive anecdotal bullshit evidence, right? If you don't, you're doing a disservice because you're selling a form of libel and slander. Whether it's posthumous or not, doesn't matter. You're trying to alter history.
Sure.
And in my opinion, that's fine for the National Enquirer. That's fine for a tabloid. That's fine for the WWE and WWF. But if you're the fucking History Channel and you put that on with that yellow H with the upside down triangle, obtuse triangle for the History Channel, you are stamping validity to it. You may as well put this in the Library of Congress. And people are going to now say that Abraham Lincoln was gay. And that's
Jesus.
Well, you know what? Fuck this shit. Dude,
take the call. Put him on the show.
I am taking the call, dude. Hurry up, E. There's going to be some language here.
There he is. Ethan's such a good kid. Oh.
All right. Okay, we got to go. All right. So
Ethan,
I understand you don't care because it's not true, but you're not the average person who's going to believe this and use this to say, Abraham, why do you keep telling me to? What is this shit?
I'm acknowledging what you're saying.
No, you're not. This means calm down or stop talking.
No, I just have my cup on my hand on my cup. That's all.
Okay, dude, we're gonna call this the dry hour. First hour is dry. It's a dry hour. Second hour you can drink. All right. So make your point. Why don't you care that people are espousing someone who's dead? That literally one of the most important men in U.S. history is a homosexual. Why don't you care?
Because the policies that he put in place have nothing to do with whether or not he sucked cock or loved the hole. I don't care. I only care from a politician's point of view, from a citizen's point of view, evaluating a politician. I only care what their effect is on me. That comes in the form of the policies that they would put down, the laws that they would advocate for. If they're out banging the next door neighbor's goat, I really don't care.
Okay.
I just want to know how it's going to affect the average citizen. That's why I say that.
Folks, Red Friday #2, shirt of the show, all product auto discounted. Red Friday, go to thedumshow.com, pick it up. By the way, folks, we haven't talked about it tonight. Donations, we are working towards a monthly goal here. We are doing fairly well by the 15th, and we want to try to be halfway there. We had our funding taken away by Facebook, so you are now our source of funding. 3.5 years, we said no donations whatsoever. We turned down $1,000 donations. The reason why is because we had an income coming in, and we were doing just fine. Now, 3.5 months, we've been asking for donations, and you guys have helped us out. If you could, go to linktapgo.com/thedumbshow, and you can tip or you can donate, and it will pop up, and we'll say your name and lights. We really appreciate you. Here's my point.
Absolutely.
And then, Olivia, I'm turning it over to you to say what you want besides bleh. That's not what I'm talking about. It's not reflective on his policies. It's not reflective on his contributions to the United States. It's not reflective on his mistakes that he made. He made plenty. Lincoln was not a perfect president. It's not, it doesn't have to do with sexuality. It doesn't have to do whether Lincoln was straight or gay. I think we're missing the context here, and the point is I agree with you. I don't care about any of that because it doesn't matter. What does matter, what does matter is that it's just like changing people in history or in movies or in books and making black characters when they were predominantly white characters, and you would never do the same. Nobody would ever in a million years go ahead and say that Frederick Douglass was a spousal abuser. No African American on the fucking planet would write a book saying that Frederick Douglass that Martin Luther King actually talked about his sexual exploits, that he was a sadomasochist, that he did fuck prostitutes in the Lincoln bedroom in the White House, that Martin Luther King was not a moral man. Okay? Nobody will tell that story. That story will never be told. So for them to go ahead and recruit Lincoln after he's dead with absolutely no way to disprove this is just like when they change historical characters, or just when they change ChatGPT to when you go ahead and put white politicians in the 1800s and it pulls up all black people, and you can't go ahead and do a search on white people.
Thank you, Don.
It's a form of straight
revisionist history.
It's not. No, it's not that. We already know that that's what that is. But what you're doing is that you're trying to fucking, like, you complain that people were whitewashing history. You're trying to gay history up. Yeah. Just like the 1619 Project is trying to black history up. And instead of whitewashing, it's blackwashing. This is gay washing. And you're starting to recruit characters throughout our history and marginalize white men and emasculate them even further, like you've done in the households and everything else. And it's just, to me, it's an oppressive movement that is trying to rewrite history so we lose a part of our identity, and that white people have no one else to look at, no one else to identify with, because they have been hijacked and stolen by movements who find Christians, straight, white people to be a threat to their movement. And to me, it's sick. That's it.
I understand what you're saying. I understand that completely.
The same people that believe that Biden is the best president we've ever had are the people that are going to believe this shit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes. The people that do not know, and I'm going to assume that it's a pretty large percentage of the American population that don't know that it was Republicans who wrote and passed the 14th Amendment, would be the people that would be the relatively, again, I don't know what the percentage is, but it would be a similar percentage of the people that would believe this kind of crap. And whatever they believe or disbelieve, I understand what you're saying, Matt, is that they're trying to throw history into a different prism to in some way diminish the Republican victories or the personal victories that Lincoln had of the day. I guess I don't see it having quite as big of an effect, just because most people can't really point out Africa on a map anyway. You know what I
Are you
mean?
cool with? No, I don't. Are you cool with them saying that George Washington's transgender?
Saying like who saying that?
National History Museum, the School Board of
If it was the
Education.
National History Museum, no.
Wait, stop. What? You would care or wouldn't care?
Would care.
Okay, so let me get this straight. National Archives, National History Museum, School Board of Education, National School Board of Education, NSBE, and all the history books come out now and say that Lincoln was gay. You're okay with that?
I guess.
No.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, great. So if they say Washington's transgender because he had wooden teeth and he decided to go ahead and wear lipstick because of those wooden teeth and wanted to draw attention away from it, and after he did that, he also went into Mrs. Washington's panty drawer and put those on and became a closeted transgender, you're okay with that?
Again, it doesn't matter.
Fucking, what do you mean it doesn't fucking matter? How in the fuck? This is where you and I are going to fucking like get into a verbal altercation of epic proportion. How the fuck can you not care about people making up their own fucking history? That isn't true.
Because people do it all the time.
No. The fucking History Channel doesn't do it all the time. The National Archives don't do it all the time. These are the people who teach your children that George Washington was a philanderer and was a transgender, or Lincoln took it up his ass. That is, to me, that is just as bad as fucking propaganda from Nazis or communist socialists saying that as they were starving their people, or Maoists as they were killing people by the tens of thousands, or what they're doing to the Uyghurs. It's not happening. No, it's fake. Saddam Hussein gassed 370,000 Kurds. No, it didn't happen. Saddam Hussein was a hero. This is just as bad as people who are espousing that the Nazi fucking party were the good guys, and it's the Jews who are to be blamed, who made up the Holocaust. This is what people are saying right now. How can you possibly be okay with that as an intellectual, as a historical aficionado, a geopolitical fucking brilliant mind that you have? How in the fuck are you okay with people just changing the history whatever they want? Help me understand.
Look, I'm always open to criticisms of the past, to the idea that maybe one of our heroes that we hold in history, somebody that I maybe read about in grade school that I revere as a hero, hey, this person may have had some faults. Guess what? I knew that already. I'm okay that somebody wants to dig around into history to maybe dig some of that up. If somebody digs up a passage as if to say, Lincoln wrote in the end of this letter, I love you and, I hope to see you next Friday. Again, that doesn't prove or disprove anything. It just means that it's taken out of context for the day. Now, I can rationalize that. I can see where you're coming from, as if to say, look, somebody's going to take this way the wrong way and say, oh, look, they're basically pitching the idea that all of our forefathers love to, take it in the ass. It doesn't change anything for today, though. That's my only point.
It does. Okay. Liv?
Yes.
Do you want to chime in?
I'm going to let you two go at it.
Okay. So we're not going at it. I can't seem to convey my point effectively. Okay. Flat earthers, you're good?
I don't care what they believe. I don't.
So you don't care about collective factual information at all. The only thing you care about is that you know.
So what you just said, though, collective factual information. If something is fact, then it's already fact.
No,
right?
no,
It's
no.
not. It's not up for
That's
debate.
semantics. Collective isn't. I don't mean it's collectivism that it's agreed upon and people's alternate facts. I mean collected historical evidence that demonstrates unequivocally that Lincoln is a homosexual, because that's what they were saying.
Sure,
they weren't beating around the bush. Lincoln's gay. Ethan.
I mean, I took
Abraham Lincoln. Who is his wife? Was he married or is he gay? He's married. If somebody says Abraham Lincoln was gay, what are your first thoughts?
Get some history classes.
Okay, good enough. Love you. Bye.
He said,
I love
get some
that kid.
history classes.
Get some history classes.
Leroy,
I get it.
I don't. No, you don't. Knowledge is obtained through discipline. And it is a very important process. And as a person of science and as a person of trying to be faith, I understand that everything isn't a constant, that things can change. And we can find out about world leaders, or we can find out about great historians, or we can find out that our heroes aren't always what they cracked up to be. And that is fine. From what you heard, does that sound remotely feasible that Abraham Lincoln had a gay lover? And there's enough evidence based upon what you saw to make that credible. I'm asking a question.
I know.
It's a yes or a no.
And I get where you're heading. I'm going to
yes
say
or no. Is it credible?
No, not in the context that show is pitching.
And as an intelligence specialist and as a person who is educated, that should go against every fundamental moral code that you have. And it baffles me that you don't. Because I think flat earthers are a danger to society. And certainly not because of their ideas. Yes. Yeah, I do.
A danger.
Because that means a danger. Yes. An absolute danger.
Okay.
Because I'll tell you why. Do you believe Nazis are a danger to society?
Yes.
Do you believe fascists are a danger to society?
Absolutely.
Do you think progressivism and socialism are a danger to society?
Sure.
What are the basis of all of those things that they all have in common? The one thing that they all do. No. What is the one thing that all of them do? Disinformation and
brainwashing.
Disinformation and propaganda. Disinformation and propaganda. Yeah. Flat earthers are a danger to society.
So you were kind of, allow me to make sure that I understand.
Sure.
You were kind of viewing this through the optic similar to what the Nazis pitched in terms of, hey, the Jews are the problem here. They were always the problem. They've been taking all of your money. You're seeing it as this twisting of facts, as if to say that the history that you know isn't really the history that you know. Welcome to America. Is that what I'm?
No, I think it's different levels of severity, but it's still danger. Stupidity is a danger to society. It's a danger, and people who embrace stupidity is a danger to society. This is why 320 fucking people drink poison Kool-Aid. This is why people are allowed to shave little children's heads and put them in a fucking sexual camp with others and share them as a leader with 30 or 40 different children. This is how parents entrust people to come into their house and sexually take advantage of children. Is stupidity, is acceptance without consequence, acceptance without evidence, acceptance without investigation. It goes against everything I believe. And I understand where you're coming from, that it's no big fucking deal because I know better. But the problem is that you may know better, but that's not who they're curtailing this to. They are trying to dumbify the United States. They are trying to replace history. They're trying to replace the things that make America America. And if they slowly go ahead and say that Abraham Lincoln was a racist, hold on. You didn't like it when they tore down his statue and said he was a racist. You didn't fucking like that. I got the episode and I'll pull it up and show you. And you were fucking on fire over that. So you're okay with them saying that he's gay, but you're not okay with them saying he's a racist? Please tell me the difference.
Okay. I haven't seen this special yet. And if they introduce all sorts of new evidence where he handwrites out in letters that, oh, I want to suck your, whatever.
Yeah, I get it.
I would take that as new evidence. And that's the thing.
Sure.
I'm always open to new evidence. Now,
Sure,
whether or
so
not that evidence indicates one way or the other, as far as, hey, AB, took it up the old poop chute, I don't care. Whether or not they want to tear down statues that make America remember the ideals of republicanism. The idea behind the statue is different to me, and I'll tell you why. It is a symbol that Republicans were the ones who freed the slaves, who advocated for freeing the slaves. The Republicans were the anti-slavery party. So to remove that piece of history physically, I find offensive. If someone wants to pitch the idea that because they had some ambiguous text in a letter that they felt, oh, maybe he leaned one way or the other, I see what you're saying.
That's not what they said. You're trivializing the severity of what they're saying. Even if nobody watches that series, they now are going to say that Abraham Lincoln is gay. Period. They watched a 2-minute special. They read the cover of the book, and now they're going to go out and espouse that Lincoln was gay. And the thing is that it devalues what Lincoln truly stood for. After the loss of his child, he stood next to his wife, was unapologetic for it. He fought the SCOTUS in the Supreme Court, suspended habeas corpus. This man was a Christian. And his ideals negate the things that they're saying. Now, could he be a closeted homosexual? Sure. And could he be a one bald gelding? Sure. But just because you want to go ahead and paint him as such, because you saw a letter and you misunderstood the context of the letter and didn't understand that was one of his best friends that he grew up with, since he was a boy, and wrote him a letter that said, I will miss you enormously, or whatever word he used. And I hold great affection for you. Is a different language now because of homosexuality. Don't you understand? The whole thing is that homosexuality has turned any love or respect that a man has for a man has turned it into you're gay. And that is the whole ever-loving point, is that they're trying to make something that was pure and honest, a friendship between two people, that was the purest form of brotherly love, and turn it into homosexuality because that is their narrative, because they want to change history. They want to rewrite what happened. And I'm not okay with it. Just like if they talk about Mark Twain and say Mark Twain was a capitalist. Mark Twain was a fucking socialist. He wasn't a capitalist. And how can anyone say that Mark Twain was a capitalist? It would offend me just as much, because it's not true until you can prove it. And if you don't, then it's just propaganda and disinformation. So when I say someone's talking about flat earth, that it's dangerous, yes, because it opens up for other unbelievable situations with no discipline to obtain that information and no factual evidence and exculpatory evidence that proves its existence is worthy to us. I can't stand that.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Let's say that History Channel runs this piece. Let's say they run that commercial. Let's say that they pitch the idea that, hey, by the way, Have you, the General John Q. American, have you seen these letters and the way that they're worded? Is it possible that Lincoln was gay, that he was, in bed with several men, while he was married to his wife? Okay. And then they run the special, right? Everyone who runs the special, it has record ratings. And everyone who sees that special, right, is engaged in it because of the commercial. Then they get to the end of the program and they said, well, this is where all the evidence leans, but we'll never know because we were never there. And these are just the texts of the day. And this is what we as historians, this is what we have to rely on. I'm okay with that.
But the problem is,
I really am.
Not many people are going to watch it to the end. They're going to look at that 2-minute commercial and be convinced. That's, again, why we're in this predicament in the country, because people think Joe Biden is the best president in the world because CNN told them. Also,
go ahead. Yeah, no, don't be sorry. Fuck, shut me up. It's fine.
How people spoke was completely different on how we talk now.
Right.
I mean, our kids come up and go, "Slay," and Ethan says bussin', which means cool now. What the fuck?
Totally different meaning for Joe Biden.
I don't understand the language.
One of my coworkers referred to me the other day as having a cool drip, and I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about, and I had to ask him
Chlamydia
about
is not cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
just
you know what I mean?
Language.
It's
we need to get
clothing.
the kids on
what
here.
What you're wearing that day is your drip, apparently.
Go ahead and finish
we
because
need to get the kids on here.
Finish because I want to make a point. Go ahead.
So it's totally different, and people are looking at the way they spoke back then and making their own definitions to it because they don't understand it. So freaking look at the way William Shakespeare wrote. We can't even freaking understand it.
William Shakespeare probably was gay.
Well, but still.
But okay. Let me I'm going to make my final point. You make your final point, and then we'll be good to go. Okay. Here's what I'm trying to say. As simple as possible. We are going to go ahead and have a debate, and we are going to bring expert witnesses in. And this debate and this documentary is going to be about science and theology living together in the cosmos. Okay? That's our premise.
Okay.
Please tell me what type of people you would invite to this show that we're going to do when it comes to theology, science living in the cosmos. Help me understand who you're going to invite. Give me a list of people. Just start rattling some people off. What type of people?
I would invite scientists and theologists and historians and anybody for the mere ratings factor. I would invite everyone.
You would invite philosophers, sociologists, biologists, theocracy leaders in the world, whether it be Mormonism or Buddhism. You'd have to bring all different religions. And you would have to bring a broad perspective. And not only that, you would have to bring the dogmatic and the atheist people as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because that, more than anything, will give you your counter to proof. Then you're going to have to go ahead and bring the flat earthers and the people who don't believe in gravity. And you're going to have to bring the people to negate science too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, and then you're going to have to bring some Christian Science people, which is another faith, which crosses into not being big fans of medication and medicine, but also have a religion, which is interesting. So they kind of turn away from both, but accept both at the same time, which is it. So you're going to have just a broad range of people, right? Was that fair? Great.
Yes.
Explain to me why every single person in that video was gay or a lesbian or a transgender.
Good point. That's a really good point.
Because it's fucking fake and it's bullshit and it's an agenda. That's what pisses me off. Is it's propaganda and it's fucking disinformation. And it's a Saul Alinsky playbook. Attack the principles of the country. Step number 1. Attack the things that they believe in. Gaslight them into a sense of absolutely being enraged. This is the Saul Alinsky playbook, dude. That's what they're doing. That's why it pisses me off. It's a form of fucking communist socialism. This is what they do. They've been doing it since fucking the 50s and the 60s. Nothing's changed, and I am absolutely opposed to it. Go ahead.
I 1000% agree with everything you just said, but I think in what you just said, you also, in a way, unravel your own argument, and here's how.
Okay.
Here's how.
Okay.
You're acknowledging the fact that you know and believe that it's all bullshit. Okay? As am I. I never said that any of this was true. The propaganda and lies that come from the left is something that I expect. Here's the thing. Do I think that the left has every right in the world to make whatever claim they want? Yeah, I do.
Wait,
They
what?
can say whatever the fuck they want. That's
No,
the
they
premise
can't.
of free speech.
No, it's not the premise of free speech. There's limitations to speech. As a society, we have limited certain aspects of speech that cause harm to other or remove the ability of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness for other people, whether those people are dead or alive. You can't slander a person. You can't say things that aren't true about people that can damage and do harm. Now, the Lincoln family still goes ahead and has tours and makes money. Gettysburg profits. Now what happens when Christians say, fuck it, we're not going to Gettysburg anymore? We're not going to learn about the Civil War because of Abraham Lincoln. Now you're oppressing the truth and oppressing information, suppressing it from people based upon their convictions and insulting them and maligning Lincoln with something that they disagree with. I don't care if he was gay. I'm with you. That doesn't bother me. It's the fact that they have no evidence of this, and they are trying to destroy the fabric of this country by changing what the truth is. Like black Africans built America. No, they fucking didn't. You may have done labor, but you didn't build this country. You may have carried rock and stone, but there were just as many white slaves who worked on Washington, D.C. as black slaves. Fact.
That is fact.
So don't sit here and tell me that African Americans built America. No, we abused you. We belittled you, ridiculed you, defamed you, neutered your spirit, and destroyed generations of African Americans to build this country. That is the truth. But you didn't build America. You didn't build America. So to sit here and say that is a lie. So that's why the 1619 Project is full of shit. So I don't want to, this is the problem, dude. I want the truth.
All right, Matt, trust me. Give me 30 seconds to
I've
close
given
this
you all
out,
the
and
time. I'm just asking for the same thing. Go ahead, buddy.
No. I think we're on a good path here.
Yeah, it's a conversation. I'm not mad.
No, I know. For better than 2.5, 3 years since I've been on the show, Matt has absolutely insisted that nobody post pictures or nobody make the claim that Michelle Obama has a dick, right? Why? Because he's after the truth. He does not want misinformation. Now, whether or not you have the ability to say so is a completely different matter, right? If you want to go ahead and Photoshop, big hairy dong all over Michelle Obama and then post that out into the world, have at it. What Matt is after here and what I am after is the absolute truth. I think where we're coming into different kind of aspects here is we both know that it's bullshit. He cares, and I'm just coming at it from the fact, from the perspective of, look, we have plenty of people on both sides who are willing to Photoshop a dick on Michelle Obama or make the insinuation that Donald Trump said that, hey, we need to take over all of the government because I'm a dictator. People are going to say what they're going to say, and I know better, me personally, right? Leroy knows better than to fall in line and say, I'm just going to go ahead and swallow that media pill and say, oh, I'm going to accept that hook, line, and sinker. We all know that that's not true. I am someone who believes in the idea of individualism, that I expect that I'm going to be lied to on the daily, and that you should look at specials like this from your history books, from the History Channel, from anybody who tries to point something out factually, and do your own level of research. I am already dubious of this, and so is Matt.
Thanks, JD.
Thank you, JD. I'm just coming at it from the perspective of, I guess I expect it and I don't care. Matt cares about what they say about Lincoln. Obviously.
No,
is that fair?
No, not at all. But
that's not fair.
No, it's not fair. Because
thank you, Don.
Quickly, thank you, Don. Thank you, everybody. You can say whatever you want about Michelle Obama. I didn't try to censor people's speech. I simply said on this channel, you're not going to disrespect a first lady in an open channel and state things that are fact that you have no idea about, when the whole point of her being a man has been disproven so many damn times. And it's callous, it's mean, and it's rude.
It is.
And I'm not going to allow it on my channel. So I allow it, and then I maybe a second time, but if it's a third time, then I gave a warning and said, you need to stop. Because now what you're doing is now people are posting links, and now people are saying, and you're teaching people through my channel something that is not proven.
Right.
And I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with you abusing and using my platform. So there are consequences to your speech. It's not that you don't have free speech. You can say whatever the fuck you want. You can walk in and scream fire. But there are consequences after. Same thing here. You have free speech, but there are consequences to your speech, and I will exercise my right of free speech not to listen to you. That is very different. Lastly, I will say this. You do care. And to sit here, you just don't care about this particular thing. Because I have heard you pick apart Joe Biden and get just as afraid or just as pissed off when he is espousing lies and misquoting and not representing the truth. Otherwise, why the fuck are we doing this show?
Exactly.
Okay, well then you can't make a blanket statement like that, because then you undercut your argument. And every time you go ahead and challenge the truth versus some made up fucking fictitious history, you've discredited your argument, because now anyone can look at you and say, you didn't care about Lincoln. Why do you give a shit of Joe Biden's line? You know the truth, and that's all that matters to you.
I get your argument. I guess I would just come at it from the perspective of, if somebody released a documentary tomorrow that proved that Monica really wasn't under Bill Clinton's desk, that it turned out it was some dude who looked like Monica, again, I don't care.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Just as long as it's not, just as long as it's not all four women who were sexually assaulted by Clinton making the video with nobody else. Because then that's a completely different thing. See, this is my argument. It's the dumbification of the country. And it will continue when we don't challenge shit like this. It is fine to do a documentary, but how about you do this? How about you do a documentary throughout history of homosexuality and lesbian figures who were amazing throughout history, and do that fucking special? And why don't you say, hey, we're not sure, but here's what Lincoln may or may not have done. Instead, you dedicated an entire episode on the founder of the Republican fucking Party, a absolute stalwart for Christianity,
yes,
and try to trivialize him into something that we have to question and say, does he go against our moral fiber, our ideology, and our theological beliefs? It's rude. We know why they're doing it. This has nothing to do with Lincoln. This has nothing to do with getting history right. This has to do to piss off Republicans. And guess what? I'm pissed. So there it is. Last word for you. Go. I'm done.
This is such a fun episode. And, folks, when Matt and I go at it like this, it's never as if to say, hey, look, you're being an idiot, and this is...
no, you're being an idiot. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
It's a way of throwing an idea out there and then having the other challenge it intellectually. This is just one of those really great episodes where we talked about everything from JD Stillwell got a free T-shirt out of this. We talked about ratings. We talked about whether or not Joe Biden and the favorability amongst his own party, whether or not that's rising or falling, and whether or not he should be replaced. And then the second half of this obviously leaned heavy on whether or not we feel like President Lincoln was gay or not. I guess
that's not what we just discussed. That's not what we discussed.
No, I know.
We discussed, is it okay to lie about something?
Right,
or that's what we discussed.
The special, from the idea of the special, from the perspective that History Channel or whoever the hell is sponsoring this is pushing that agenda. Is it right? No. Do I agree with it? No. Would I in any way try to block their idea for putting it out? No.
No one ever. I never said that. I just said it's dangerous.
I know you did.
I said
you never
it's dangerous.
Said that. I know.
It's dangerous. Yes. It's just as dangerous as any other disinformation out there. If it's not real and it's fake or it's not founded on evidence and it's speculative, you have an obligation to say, hey, we're just spitballing here. But here's some great gay figures. And Lincoln, he may have had some fondness for other. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all.
We make a lot of jokes on this show. I mean, Matt and I have talked about. We just got done talking about. There's the putting the idea, the imagery of you, me, and Izzo in bed all together.
No, you did that.
And I've talked.
No, you did that.
I did do that.
You sucked my dick. I'm not gay.
And the idea that I've been on the show before. I'm like talking up Idris Elba or Bradley Cooper.
Right.
We're allowed to do that, but here's the thing. Here's the difference. I'm not trying to rule anybody's life. I am not trying to put forth policy to sway anybody to get to do something that I want them to do or to get them to stop doing something that I disagree with. I don't care. You do you, boo. And I think that's where I need to make myself clear on that point.
Are you okay? Care. Are you okay with a documentary coming out tomorrow that George Michael and Liberace were straight? No. Answer seriously, because
it's a really great question.
Those are two very prominent figures in the LGBTQ community, including Elton John. And would you be okay with that? And how about Matt Shepard? How about Matt Shepard with them coming out and saying Matt Shepard wasn't gay?
That's the dude from CNN, right?
No, that's the guy who had his head stomped in Wyoming where they made the hate crime law against gays. Matthew Shepard. Are you okay with them coming out and saying Matthew Shepard wasn't gay? See what I'm saying?
I am okay with it.
All right, so you're okay with them going ahead and changing. Let's see. Next time they do Gandhi, next time they do Gandhi, we'll make him a Mongolian.
Let me rephrase that. I am okay with somebody throwing out an opinion or writing an opinion piece.
Time out, Thomas. There's no free. Time out, Thomas. There's no free shipping. I can't afford free shipping. It is a glitch in the site that says if you spend $29, you get free shipping. I'm very sorry. My prices are very reasonable, and I give very large discounts to people all the time, and I can't afford to do free shipping. So we don't do free shipping. It costs me to send one shirt $4.50, and I charge you $5. So, and 9 times out of 10, if it's further than west of Chicago, I pay more in shipping than I actually collect. So there's no free shipping, unfortunately. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry, Leroy. Finish up.
No, you're fine. I guess what I'm saying is that people can say whatever the fuck they want, and I really don't care, because at the end of the day, I tend to look back on the effects of that politician on on history, on the well-being of America, on the effects that it had on the American citizen, whether or not it gave them more freedom or less. And that's the perspective I'm coming from. And if somebody were to make a special tomorrow to say, hey, look, Matt and Leroy bang each other, I don't care. I know the truth. I don't care. Right. You know what I mean?
Right. No, I don't. But that's okay, because I would sue them for fucking slander, and I would own them. Libel and slander. I do care. I don't know what to say, man. My reputation is important to me. And if somebody says that I'm a child abuser, or I beat my wife, or I'm gay, then that means I'm performing infidelity against the vows that I took. No, it's not okay. No. So I just, this is where you and I separate in our belief system. You are a libertarian at heart, and I am not. I don't believe in unequivocal.
That alone.
Yeah, and I don't agree with unabashed freedom. No, I don't believe in 100%. Everything is anarchy. Just fucking do what you want. No, we have rules, and we have a code that we live by, and honor has to be a part of that. And there has to be an unspoken rule that men are men and women are women. And I believe in the Constitution, but I believe there should be limits in societies, because there has to be. Otherwise, let's just go back to the OK Corral. Let's go back to the days of Caligula and just fucking all die of STDs. Let's go ahead and slaughter our children in the name of Cthulhu. I'm sorry, there has to be some sort of rules. And I don't know. That's the difference between libertarians and a true constitutionalist. Yeah, and that's it.
I will own that.
That's not a bad thing. I mean, you think heroin should be legal, so it's cool.
To some degree, probably.
I know. You're a libertarian, dude. Of course you do. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with being a libertarian. It's just I don't agree, and that's why I'm not a libertarian, because there's some things I don't agree with. That's all. It's cool, dude.
I will say this, and from a libertarian perspective, a libertarian is someone who I think says, hey, don't give me any rules, but also don't rescue me if I make a bad decision. Does that make sense? So if I say at some point, look, I don't want to live by whatever the rules of society are, and I'm going to go ahead and snort, 8 grams of heroin laced with fentanyl, I think that for some, that should, I think that should be a thing we could have a conversation about. Yeah, I just don't want to place any rules on anybody else, so long as those rules don't infringe upon the liberties of somebody else.
Okay, it's hard because we keep shifting gears.
It is.
If you go into the hospital and you don't have insurance and you've decided to go ahead and OD, and then you're going to go into a $30,000 rehab and you're hooked up to $10,000 a day on ICU and you don't have any money, and ultimately that gets written off by the hospital, and then my insurance premiums come up, and then we go ahead and have to have a DARE program and fund a $300 million fucking program that doesn't work, and then we have to run operations south of the border by clandestine operations of smuggling cocaine and allowing the cartels with trading guns. Yeah, dude, I got a problem with it. So no decision has 0 victims, and no decision has all victims. Is people are impacted by other people's decisions. And until that does not hold true, that all boats rise at high tide and they equally sink.
At low tide?
At low, well, and yeah, you can call low tide an economic downfall. You can call it a stock market crash. You can call it I get fired from my job. A factory goes out of commission and moves out to Japan. Whatever the low tide would be, that's the euphemism we're going to use. And yeah, low tide boats sink too. So I don't think there is such thing as individual rights and we stop there. I believe that if individual rights are upheld and recognized, that collectivism isn't needed, because all boats do rise at high tide. And the moment that we start using collectivism to manage the individual, I believe that's a problem. And that's when we have to say that open fettered access to drugs for everybody, even though it might be detrimental to everyone, is not individual liberty. So that's where my basic problem with libertarians is we should just defend the United States and stay out of everyone else's problems. To me, I think that's stupid. And I think you do too, as a warrior, as a military person, that there is a reason why we haven't had a major conflict since World War II, and it's because of our involvement and our bases across the United States that has kept relative peace. Whether you agree with that or not, I don't know, but it's a long conversation. We're getting into libertarian versus conservative, but I respect your opinion, dude. To me, it bothers me. And I am a fucking advocate for the LGBTQ community. I think people need to leave them the fuck alone. I think Christians need to love them. And you worry about your own soul and they'll worry about theirs. I'm for that. But what I'm not okay with is my son coming home and look at me in the face and go, hey, my teacher said Lincoln's gay today. What? Not okay with that. You better have some evidence to prove. Let me see your fucking notes. Let me see your coloring book. Read this thing.
That's exactly my point.
Tell me, what's your point?
That's exactly my point. I haven't seen the special. If they want to introduce new evidence to basically suggest that, hey, I'm going to listen, because I'm never going to shut my ears to new evidence. But whether or not that evidence is compelling or not, when it's almost like standing trial, right? When you're trying to convince, you've got two lawyers that are trying to convince a jury of 12 to lean one way or the other, I'm going to be listening. I'm in the jury, right? I don't want to shut out new evidence just because. And if you're a good enough lawyer, and if the evidence happens to lean that way, all right, maybe. That doesn't matter. It doesn't. It doesn't change.
Once again, you're demonstrating you're a libertarian because you don't want to abstain or object or upheld, and you don't want rules. You just want people to go out there and espouse whatever the fuck they want. And I want a well-regulated, well-directed, well-refereed, judged court case that does not allow people to break the law or to espouse things that are not true while they're under oath supposed to be true. It's a time for empirical data. It's a time for exculpatory evidence. There's a difference between you and me. You just want people to go up there and be like, oh, yeah, man, he fucked her. Excuse me, I object. No objection. No objection. It's all good. I want to listen to this new evidence. And that jury of 12 is like, he fucked her? Oh, well, then she gets all the alimony. You get custody of the kids, and you're fucking free to go. And then that dad's like, well, I didn't fuck her. He said so. And Leroy said that we don't need to go ahead and fucking hold the rules of the court and have evidence.
They're facts. That's the
It's not fact. It's not fact. If somebody goes on the witness stand and lies, that's not a fact, Leroy.
No, that's my point. Is that we have to determine what is factual and what is not. And I will.
But you don't want objections. So how do we stop that person from lying?
See, you can't stop people from lying. I'm
bullshit.
willing to accept
Yo,
that.
bullshit. You can use the proof to go ahead, and the evidence that's there, a preponderance of evidence must be proved, no matter how large the claim or small the claim may be. And what you don't want to do is object. You don't want the prosecutor to stand and go, I object, Your Honor. This information is misleading. You know what? Sit down. What do you mean sit down? It's misleading. No, everyone needs to just hear everything. You're saying you don't want objections. You don't want the judge to get involved. You just want everyone to be able to say whatever they want, and then it'll sort itself out. And to me, that's chaos. That's anarchy. That's not the way the law works. That's not the way science works. That's not the way history works. You can't just say what you want and expect people to believe it. And when they challenge you, you simply say, I don't give a fuck. I don't know, man.
We're not going to agree. Of the most purest idea of what a libertarian is, which is what you described, I am not that. I am somewhere between Republican and libertarian. I'm on the edge of both. But yes, I understand what you're saying.
Okay. It's a good conversation. I appreciate it. Listen, I value your opinion. I thank you for it. It's one we're going to have to explore again because I don't understand it. I think we're not even, a lot of times people talk about the same thing, but they're getting there two different ways. I think we are like miles apart. We're Cher and what the fuck's his name?
Bono?
Sonny Bono and Cher. We are Tom Arnold and Roseanne
Not a great
Barr.
Not a great skier. Yeah.
No. It's hard to hit a tree when it's not moving.
Yeah. They don't move.
All right. Hey, Liv, you've been amazing. I apologize.
Yes,
we're having a great conversation on Rumble, so it's all good.
Who's talking over on Rumble? What are we talking?
We're just reminiscing about old TV shows, and I'm beating everyone to the punchlines on the TV shows, and
All right.
Even though I'm the youngest, but
Thomas, we got you taken care of. I got your order. I apologize about the shipping, man. It's Matt. They put stuff on Facebook all the time. I expect people to believe it. Well, that's this. Okay. Last word, really, and we're fucking done. This is the whole premise of the show, is questioning falsehoods. Everything we do is setting people straight with the truth and trying to give them the most facts. And you basically just said that everything we do here doesn't matter. That's where that's the purest form of what. Yeah, it's exactly what you said. Yes.
No, I don't think.
Yes,
so at all.
It's exact. You need to watch the show again. That's exactly what you said. You said it doesn't matter what anyone says. They can lie. I know the truth, and it doesn't matter. Well, not everyone knows the truth, and our job here is to question and quash falsehoods. And you just said that it doesn't fucking matter. So to me, I'm like, this is our entire show.
Say what the hell they want. At the end of the day, it's on them to dig up the truth, and that's what we're after, and that's what I am after. I am after the most ultimate, purest form of truth. Will I watch this special? Probably not, because I don't give a shit. That's my point. Is at the end of the day, it's not going to change my opinion of Abraham Lincoln.
I don't care about Abraham fucking Lincoln. I care about what they're doing. I care about the effort to destroy and to take out our history and our country brick by brick until it resembles something that we are not. I'm sorry. We're not a progressive society. We've never been progressive. This country is not progressive. This country actually, and it's not. It's never has been. And for us to sit here and pretend it is. Liv, end this for us. End it for us. What? Give us the words of wisdom that it's going to shut us both up, please.
Thank you, Olivia.
The words of wisdom that will shut you both up.
Yeah.
It's 9:52 at night on a Friday night. I'm ready to go eat my froyo.
Okay.
You both need to shut up so we can end the show. Is that better? Is
Yeah,
that good?
it's fine. It's fine. Hey, how about we do this? How about you and I next week sometime, maybe next Friday, you and I just sit down and let's bring our points of, because can I just be honest with you? I think, I don't think you've been drinking heavily, but I think you might look back on this and go, I think I might have said a couple things that really kind of go against who I am, because I haven't heard this side of you before. So it's a little shocking. I'm a little shocked. Not offended.
I will absolutely subscribe to that.
Okay, cool. And dude, I've been shit-faced on the show, so I get it. I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying I've had a few too many toddies on the show, and I'm like, I watch it again, I'm like, whoops. And sometimes I don't drink at all, and I watch what I say, and I go, holy shit, I can't believe I said that. I don't think your points were made the way you wanted to make them, because it's just not indicative of who I know you are. I think you do care. I just don't think that this one is big enough for you to care about right now, because we've got other things to focus on. Maybe that's it. I don't know. We'll talk about it and find out. Okay? Can we do that?
Sounds good.
All right. I love you, buddy. I love you, buddy. You look good, by the way. I don't want to spoon with you and Izzo. I don't want to share you with anybody.
Oh, see?
Yeah,
that
Izzo
ruins me.
Izzo is too forceful. He's too aggressive. He would kick me out of bed. Liv, you've got your 30 seconds. Go get him. What do you got? She's like,
I thought
yogurt.
it was a minute. No, I'm just
That's later. That's all you get. Give me.
2 minutes in heaven is better than 1 minute in heaven.
Is it? Wait a second. Okay, forget it. You're not making sense tonight, dude. Liv, go ahead.
No,
I know 2 minutes in heaven. Is it? God, it's probably the Who.
From the Flight of the Conchords. It's a song called Business Time. It's hilarious.
Okay. All right. Go for it. Go ahead. Liv.
Thank you, everyone, for donating. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
I hope you all have a wonderful weekend.
We will get all the shirts out. Thomas Austin, I'm sorry about the shipping. We'll figure it out. We'll make sure we'll figure it out. If I can do free shipping, I can do one or the other. Discounts or shipping, and honestly, it's Rob and Peter to pay Paul. Thanks for watching the Donut Framing Show. We're off this weekend. I got to get the teleprompter going. We got to get some stuff up on the site. Thank you for watching. Leroy, thanks for being here, dude. Thanks for literally just trading barbs for a while. It's great to have an argument. And
no, this is great. JD still will. If you're still on, please message me, and I will make sure that we figure it out and get you your shirt.
Just let me know, dude. I'll show expense it. It's fine. Just let me know, JD, what you want. We'll get you taken care of. God bless. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys Monday. And remember, happy birthday. We've got a couple birthdays this week, and Jazzy's birthday is July 20th, I believe. So happy birthday, Jazzy. You're the best. And then prayers to Carrie.
Rhonda.
What?
Rhonda.
Yep. I was going to do Carrie and Rhonda. And then that's it. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you on Monday. Good night.
Night, y'all.
Thanks,
Night.
Leroy. Late, buddy.
Bye, Leroy.
Love you guys.
Transmitter output. This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, Olivia, and Mike. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on the Spreely.tv network and all major social media channels at The DUM Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.